Today is Daily Cyber number 40. Today I want to talk about identity theft and having your wallet stolen. I had a client of mine contact me because they had their wallet stolen and they want to know what's the process, what do they need to go through because they've never had their wallet stolen. So of course you have to call your banks, your credit card companies, you have to make sure that, just trying to think of the list. Banks, credit card companies, anywhere you have your identity, online platforms, you name it, all those have to be listed out and you have to call them. Then you have to call the police, you have to call Equifax, which is the credit company here. If you have any identity service, let them know, any service that protects your identity. If you don't, then just make a list of all your service providers and you have to call them, let them know, because a lot of people have online billing, you're using your credit card, whatever that may be, so you have to let them know that you've been compromised. Now I'm bringing this up is because what happened was, as we were going through this exercise, we found out more and more how much the service providers do not know. And I'll give you an example. I went to the bank with them just to kind of give them information. They're like, okay, we'll just give you a new card. But we're like, her whole identity was compromised. So we need you to flag the account. We need you on the account for the next 60 to 90 days. I'm like, well, why would you want to do that? And I was like, okay, well, first and foremost, they have her identity, so they can get someone that looks close to her and walk into any bank. Secondly, there's online platforms where they have their identity, so they know her date of birth, her mailing address. They have her identity for driver's license, you name it. And what happened was, you can kind of see the glaze go over their eyes. Well, why is that important? I'm like, well, what are your top security questions that you ask? What's your maiden name? What's your address? What's your date of birth? I'm like, they have all this, so they can go in and reset the password or do anything like that because they have all this information. So a lot of the times your security questions are these, so they can call in and say, hey, I'm Jane Doe. I'm Jane Doe. Oh, I just want to confirm the account. Oh, okay, Jane, just to confirm your account for security reasons, can you tell us your date of birth, your mailing address? And you're like, they're reading off the driver's license. Here you go. And they're like, it's not that easy. I'm like, call into your customer service and see. And sure enough, I was talking to the bank manager, and he's like, you could kind of see as they were calling in, they're like, really, it's that easy? I'm like, yeah, that's why people get socially engineered and get hacked very, very quickly, because you don't need that much information. And I said, here's some strategies that people need to do is they need to put a password phrase or a password on the actual account. So what happens is when they call in, that password has to be identified and has to be validated before they'll go on and give any information. And a lot of times, even that, when I've confirmed it, I've done it where some of my service providers, I provide them, I need this, security phrase, code, whatever that may be, and then I call back, an hour, a couple hours later, even a day later, and ask them, okay, yeah, I just want to get my account, I just want to change my credit card information. No, I'm under a rush, and I put some pressure on them, and some of them have actually let me in without checking that code. So then I spoke to the manager. I said, look, you know what? It's not your person, but they need to be trained on these issues, and this needs to be flagged. It needs to come up in your customer relation management system, your revenue system, whatever that may be. It needs to come up front and center that this alarm comes up and says, hey, before you validate and give any information, confirm this information. Right? And this is where we come in with when it comes to cybersecurity and why we're having so many problems. It's the user's responsibility to take control of their security, because a lot of times the companies are not doing their full due diligence. It could be training, it could be their systems, it could be lack of the functionality in the application, whatever that may be. They're not doing it. So when you get compromised, you have to go through all this to make sure you're secure. And what happens if the company's not looking at them, now you have to go through the frustration of oh my God, what do I do? So that's the reason why I'm doing this video today, is because you really have to look after your full profile, identity, online shopping. And I know a lot of people in this day and age, because of e-commerce, social media, all that, are doing a lot of shopping online, because social media is saying, hey, it's easy to come by over here, and then you see this marketing campaign, so you click through and then you go and there's this landing page and it's easy to buy. Well, those things might be easy to buy, but are those people that you're shopping from securing your information, securing your identity, securing your password, securing your credit card information, your banking information, whatever that may be? Are they securing it? And if they are, to what extent? And are you using a secure password policy that and I know this is frustrating, I've heard this conversation time and time again, but are each of the passwords that you're using on each of these accounts different from the other ones? And when I went through this client setting up a password policy, I could see in her eyes that she was like, come on, I have to memorize them? I'm like, no, you shouldn't memorize them. If you memorize them, that means someone can compromise you, right? Because they can socially engineer you. They can find out what's your dog's name, what's your cat's name, what's their anniversary, if you have children, where'd you go to school. I mean, it could take some time, but they can profile you and then just keep trying different sequences of phrases and passwords and all that, and then all of a sudden now they're in. And then you're like, oh my God, how'd they get in? Well, it was your dog's name and your dog's date of birth or your anniversary when you got your dog. Well, guess what? I went on Facebook and I saw that you said, happy anniversary, Toto. And then all of a sudden I know, okay, well, there's pictures of Toto. There's lots of things with Toto. You're going on trips with Toto. Well, guess what? I'm going to try to use Toto as your password and see if that gets me in. And then when it does, you're going to like, well, see, that's where you got compromised. So it's just hard. It's hard for me. I mean, this is where I'm really passionate about when I talk about daily cyber and helping people. Is it's so scary to see what's out there, what people are getting compromised about, and looking at this and kind of going, we have to do a better job. We have to do a better job for ourselves and learning how to protect ourselves. And the companies that we work with, that we partner with, have to do a better job of protecting us. And if they're not doing a better job, they need to learn how. Because again, if I get compromised from XYZ company, I'm going to stop buying my product or my service from XY company, because why would I want to work with them if I'm going to keep getting compromised? I have to go through this hassle of buying this, and I'm just going to use $100, a $100 item, but I have to spend a day to 2 days because now my credit card got compromised to fix everything, right? And it's like, why would I go through such a hassle? So that's really it for today's video. Just want to talk about that. Getting back into the flow of things. I know I keep saying that, but it's just been hard with my family member passing away and all the things that I've had to kind of work through and deal with. And I be honest with you, because of the financial system, the banks, insurance companies, government, everyone trying to get their hand in the cookie jar, right, and just get a piece of, you have to fill out these reports and then submit these applications and, get provided all this information. I haven't had time to grieve, and I haven't had really time to kind of go through this process. And I'm, trying to study. I mean, today is going to be such a busy day for me. I'm not going to be back at my home office probably until like 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock tonight. So, I mean, I'm doing this video kind of early in the morning, but at that point when I'm doing all this work, I'm not getting time to study because I really want to get back into it in cybersecurity. But fortunate enough, I'm working with clients that are keeping me engaged because of just the compromise out there. And I'm going to finish off with this. I always end the video with software's hackable, being connected is vulnerable. I hope that's hitting home, that you're actually taking the actions right now of going through all your systems, not procrastinating. Procrastination is going to get you compromised. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's not if you're going to get hacked, it's when you're going to get hacked. I've got hacked on my websites and stuff like that, and it's minor. I'm able to resolve very quickly, and I do a lot of security, but the security is not 100%. No matter how much you do, you're only like 80 to maybe 90% protected, and then it's recovery. It's risk analysis and recovery. So, what's the risk that you're putting out there, and how fast can you recover if you do get compromised? Right? And that's really what you got to think about. And when I do this for myself and with with the people and the clients that I work with, I really look at this, because if you get compromised, you have to look at how fast you can recover. Getting your wallet stolen, it can take up to, I'm thinking it's 2 months to fully recover. This is talking about credit cards. If you lose all your identity, then requesting your identity because some identity needs another identity. It's crazy, because if you have to get your health card, we're here in Ontario, you need 2 photo IDs, and if you lost those 2 photo IDs, you have to request those first, and then then wait till they come in, and then request the other one. So it can take up to 2 months before you recover from all, your loss of identity. So you're sitting there spending 2 months to recover from a mistake that you might have made unknowingly, whatever, right? And you look at the risk, and you're like, if I would have just done that and been more diligent, done my security awareness, that wouldn't have happened. I wouldn't have to go through 2 months. Well, look at credit cards compromising, things like that. Yeah, it's very personally violating when someone does it, like the emotional, and then it's the technical of doing all this stuff and the frustration, right? And dealing with people that might not be aware of the full scope of it. And we're talking about even to the point where we're talking to the police, the full scope of identity theft, kind of in the physical realm, and then also in the electronic, the data era, where now people can start creating identities with all your information and creating accounts and doing that because they have everything. So it's pretty crazy. It is pretty crazy out there. So remember, I'm going to finish off. Software is hackable. Being connected is vulnerable. Do your due diligence right now. Start today. Ask questions. Figure it out. I know you might be thinking you're doing everything, but keep asking, because the biggest thing I wanted to make sure, and the reason why I'm doing it and the passion I have behind it, is because you need to be secure. You need to protect yourself, and you need to be always learning, always developing. And if you're not, then what happens is you fall behind, and technology is always moving forward. So you want to make sure that you're always doing these great things. So I'm taking off. I'll see you tomorrow. I'm going to keep doing my videos, keep engaged, and I just hope you guys are staying protected and doing the right things. So if you have any questions, contact me. I'm always here to help.